What is up, YouTube? Spawn here. Today we got Michael Jackson on the screen. I'm joking. We got Lee on the screen. Nah, we got like the Michael, whatever, fuck him. Alright, so I'm gonna be doing a little guide on Lee because I've been playing a lot of Lee lately. I will be having videos on that. So let's just get straight into it. Alright. So what are the pros and cons of playing Lee? All right, well, let's start with the bad things first and good things last, right? So Lee is very difficult to use, right? Especially whenever your opponent knows the matchup. It's very hard because Lee has like so many strings that ends in highs, but most of them are like safe, such as like down forward 4-4. It's mid high, and if they know that, they can just duck under it. All right, so Lee can be very hard to use if your opponent knows what to do. And he can be very hard to use if your opponent doesn't press into you, right? Lee is a very defensive character, so if your opponent doesn't press into you, he's kind of like Steve in a sense, right? He needs your opponent, like Steve needs you to press into him. Same thing with Lee. He needs you to press into him, or else his pressure really isn't formatted how it should be, right? Next will be high execution. Lee is very time consuming. He needs a lot of time in the lab. He takes a lot of time in the lab to actually get him down. But once you get Lee down packed, he's a really solid character, right? So those are just the main three things. Very difficult to use, high execution, and very, very much time consuming. The pros, if you do get to learn Lee, and if you do spend the time and sweat to actually lab him out, Lee he's a good all-rounder. He has everything that you need. We'll get into that soon. Great punishment, great wall carry, heavy damage, and he's amazing at the wall. Lee has anything you need in any situation. You just have to choose the right answer for that situation, right? So now let's go over. Let's actually go over some of the things, right? So fast buttons, right? Stand out. This is your most generic thing to keep your opponent in check. 10 frames, really, really fast. But Lee is special in this case. You see, Lee stand jab at 10 frames, right? Most people like have like a 1-2, which is cool, or have like a 1-4, like a 1-3, fine. You know, right? But Lee has so many extensions from his stand jab. Lee has 1-2, but specifically 1-2 misstep, right? And on block, 1-2 is -3, but with misstep it becomes -2, right? So he can just kind of keep like kind of taking his turn back, and you just sit there like, okay, all right, take a turn back. Oh, he took his turn back again, right? So if your opponent, if you keep taking your turn back, this will make your opponent want to press, right? Press against you. But you don't want to do that against Lee because he has 1-2-4. Sure ain't. If you press against this, right? Counter hit launcher. Counter hit launcher, right? Do not press against this character, right? If Lee wants to go for a safer route, he can do 1-2-2. The reason why this is so threatening because of that last hit. Right? If you decide to press, all of your life is gone. All of your life is gone. Right? All of your life is just gone. Okay? So Lee has really good, he has a really good stand jab to keep you standing still, and multiple extensions to keep you guessing up on your toes, so you don't want to sidestep, he keeps you still, which is amazing, amazing, amazing. Conditioning, that's what Lee is. All right, down for one. One of the best down for ones in the game. One of the best down for ones in the game. But you can see Lee, he kind of like, he kind of ducks with this down for one. It's 13 frames, -1 on block. This is the best that your down for one can be. Fast, 13 frames, -1 on block. So if you do a mid that's like 14 frames, yeah, most of the time do a trade, but if you're a little bit late, this will beat you out. Okay, pause, of course. No diddy. And if they do a jab Like I said, if you throw a jab down for one and they try to jab you back, this will go under the jab because this does have high crushing properties. Right. 2-2. 2-2 is another 10 framer. What? Lee having a 2-10 frame? What kind of shit? This one specifically is the same thing. It's with the extension tied to it. Everybody is scared of that last hit. They either trying to duck it or they just they holding back. They holding back. Either one, they're looking for that last hit. Right, as you can see, it's not a natural combo. Counter hit. Ugh, you see that? Damage, right? 2-2, it is minus 13, but again, they are afraid of the last hit, and that last hit is only minus 3. Okay. And we have 4-2-1. 14 frame mid, right? This is mid-high. As I told you guys in the beginning, Lee is covered in these, right? So if your opponent knows the matchup, they can kind of duck accordingly. But good thing Lee has really good stagger. This is minus 9, of course. And it is hit confirmable, of course, right? Obviously, I would like it to be hit confirmable if it does have a high hit at the end of the string. All right. High crushing. We already went over these. Down 4-1. High crushing. If they do a high, it would just crush over it. Cool. The other one is down 2. He really stoops low on this one, except that it is 5 frames slower, right? But the thing is obviously you can see how low he crouches down, and he low profiles all highs and even some mids sometimes. And if it counter hits, he gets a guaranteed heat engager. Right? That's another good thing to know about Lee, is that Lee has a lot of options that you can do with certain things. Like in this given situation, right? If there's counter hits, you're plus 13. You have a 13 frame mid. Cool. Right? You have 4-4. Oh, I forgot to mention his 11 framer. Sorry, which is one of his fast 11 frame stand 4. Right? And if you do the perfect version, it's a heat engager, right? But if you just spam it, it's just 3 kicks, right? If you do the perfect version, he gets a heat engager guaranteed, right? And on counter hit, if I can pull this off, it's very hard. Pause. Whatever. It is a counter hit launcher on counter hit, of course. Lee still remain to be the only character in the game that still has his Magic 4 that launches. He's the only character in the game that has that. He also has 4-3-4. On counter hit, this is a counter hit launcher. All right, so he still remains to have one of the best 11 frame Magic 4s in the game. Okay. But yeah, back to down 2. High crushing, and you have multiple opportunities. Down 4-4-4. And you have stand 4-4, the perfect version, stand 4-4-4, right? But if you got it like that, let's see if I can pull this off. There it is, beautiful. You actually get more damage and bang for your buck if you go for acid rain, right? Which is really good, aka the best 10 frame punish in the game. Right? All right. Lows. Let's go over lows. So in Tekken 7, Lee really struggled with lows, right? So in Tekken 7, Lee was this complicated game plan, but he would absolutely destroy you with mids, which is the reason why people would just stand block against you. I'm going to get into that sooner or later, right? I'm going to get into that later on in the video. So the lows, back 3-3. This is my go-to. Not even going to lie to you. This is my go-to low. Yes, it does say it's -1 on hit, but if you do misstep, you're +4, which means that your stand jab in this situation is practically guaranteed if they don't duck, right? So I'm going to set Double Gen here to actually, I'm going to have Double Gen armor here. Boop, right? You want to armor on hit, right? And if I do a 10 framer, Double Gen gets blown up. He just lost 30% of his health off of one sequence, right? So any 10 framer would outright beat that. Or you can just simply go for something like this here. Counter hit. Right? We'll get into that sort of later, right? The low that you just seen, down 3. Oh shit, my bad. He just fucking cleaned me, bro. Okay, down 3. A lot of people use this as a poke, which I wouldn't recommend it, but I see why they do it. Oh, I forgot another high crushing low. This down 3 is also high crushing, and it even low profiles some mids too. I see why people do this because obviously it low crushes a very fast mid. It's unreactable at 16 frames. It is -1 on hits, but on block, it's -15. So please do be careful. But again, I see the reason why people like to use it as a poke. I don't recommend it, but it is a counter hit launcher. Okay. So if you're throwing out these jabs, and these down 4-1s, and you know your opponent wants to press, down 3. Down 3 every time. Right? Down 3 every time. As I told you, Lee has really good damage here. Right? Let me see if I can pull this off here. Oh boy. Don't disappoint like that, Lee. Come on. Whatever. Anyway, you kind of get the point there, right? We have down 4, down 4, 3 plus 4. I forgot. There it is. Yeah. Come on. There it is. This is one of his better slides, or one of his better lows also, next to Factory 3. This one is a little bit more complicated, so if you're like getting new to Lee, this one will be a lot harder to pull off. I'm just letting you know that right now. It'll be a lot harder to pull off. I can't even get it right now. But those are his blows. Now, good mids. Oh, number 1, back 4. Back 4 is Lee. This is literally the character. Lee is back 4. The best defensive tool in the game, right? That's also a good pro about Lee, is Lee has the best defense in the game. You cannot press into Lee. Do not press into Lee. Back 4, like look at this wonky hitbox. Like from here, right? It doesn't even. It's so disjointed. Like look at this. You see that? It's literally hitting Devil Jin's horn when he's not even supposed to. Look at that. Are you seeing it, right? So, and then you can go into Hitman to kind of sway back a little bit, which makes it even harder to whiff punish, right? So like I'm here, now I'm back here again. You see how much space I control? And even if I'm like, even if I whiffed it from like here, I thought you were gonna like try to run in and press into me, I just go into Hitman, right? And yes, even on block, it's -2 when you do Hitman. If you don't do Hitman, it's only -3. And of course, counter hit launcher, right? Do not press against his character because he does hurt. Let's see if I can pull this off. He fucking hurts. He will destroy you. Alright? Back 4, known for that. Really good defensive, counter hit launcher, safe, fast mid, right? 20 frames, alright? 4-4-3. One of the best heat engagers in the game. 4-4-3 is kind of like Demon Paw, but it's his foot. It's like Harang's Demon Foot. Right? This has really good tracking. It's a heat engager. It's only -9 on block. Tracks well to both sides. Heat engager. It's safe, and if you're already in heat, it is a launcher, of course. Right? It is a launcher. All right. Really good tool to have, especially if you contest with all these lows from like full screen and stuff like that, right? And then when they think that you're about to do a low, you can do 4-4-3. Goes very far. You just cannot go wrong with this button. Obviously, down 4-1, I already mentioned that. Down 2, I mentioned that already. 4-2-1, I mentioned already. By the way, if you are near a wall, do not, I repeat, you do not want to be at the wall against Lee. 2-2-3, wall splats. 4-2-1, that mid that I'm talking about, wall splats. Okay. I already went over 4-2-1, and also down 4-4. Also, wall splats, heat engagement, safe mid, 13 frame mid, but also ends in the high. So if they know it's coming, they can duck it. But against the wall, it is very scary to risk that, because on block is only -9, and you don't want to be in a mix-up game with Lee, because he can go into Hitman from there and just absolutely mix the shit out of you. Okay. 1+2. 1+2 is a really good safe homing mid that's 21 frames, right? And on block, -1 if you go into Hitman is +2. So it's actually still your turn, but sadly, your fastest move out of Hitman is 12 frames, so you would actually trade with 10 frame jabs, which is not what you would necessarily want. But the reason why this move is good, because, well, you kind of guessed it, counter hit launcher. This is Lee counter hit launches off of everything. And he hurts. He hurts a lot. 50% of your health is gone because you decided to press against a homing plus on block counter hit launching tracking mid. Tracks to both sides. Of course, you see that blue streak animation letting you know that it is homing. Okay. Punishment. He has some of the best punishment in the game. I already went over acid rain. Oh, I got that on the first try. Act like it. All right. First try. Hey. There it is. Best 10 frame Punisher in the game. 47 damage. You do not want to be unsafe against Lee. If you're -10, you will explode from it. And if you're near a wall, and if you do acid rain, Lee could actually wall splat you from this if you have the right timing and sequence, right? If you want the easy route, 1-2-4 is your guy, right? Natural combo. Gives you a pretty decent chunk of change. You do the perfect version, gives you even more damage, right? So if you can't do acid rain, 1-2-4 is there for you. Okay, good 10 frame Punisher. 11 frame Punisher is there. We already discovered this already, so I'm not going to get too far into that. Okay. Lee has really good punishment from Wild Rising, such as Wild Rising 2-3. This is arguably Lee's most damaging starter. If you are, this is a 14 framer, by the way. So if you are -14 or -15, you will explode. Observe. Shit. Hey. Lee, please. I swear, I literally was hitting this shit off camera. This is absolute bullshit. All right, Lee. Okay, good. %60%, probably even 65% of your health is gone because you did a -14 move, right? Lee hits like a fucking truck that just ran through your grandmother's house. As I said, Lee has everything that you need in order to become an all-rounded character. All right, it took me a little while, but work with me here, all right? Counter hit launchers. Lee is a counter hit character. He's like right there next to Brian with the most counter hits in the game, right? That are just stupid shit that not even supposed. Anyway, 1+2. I already went over this already. Boom, you will explode for it. All right, and I already explained that to you. Down 3. I already showed that to you guys also. Okay. Back 4. By the way, you have all day. Check this out. I'm gonna just sit here for a little bit and just still pick you up. I have all day to see that, right? I see the full bounce. I go into Hitman dash up, wait for a little bit, and I can still pick you up. Right? I have all day. I have all day. So even if I miss the launch itself, I can just let you fall and still pick you up. Right? 55% of your health is just gone from that. 4-4-3 is the same thing. It's like the alternative of back 4, right? So if they it's kind of with the plus frame of 4-4-1, and if they want to duck that second hit, you can delay the absolute fuck out of this move, right? So if they get hit by the second hit, same thing. Counter hit launcher has the same properties and everything, right? It works exactly the same way as you think it would, right? And down 2. I put down 2 in there because it's kind of like a mini combo, right? Oh, that was definitely on the first try, right? It's kind of like a mini combo into itself because it does a gazillion damage, right? So, these will be like the main things that you're going to be using with Lee, right? You just kind of have to mix these up because a lot of strings that Lee has does end in high, but he does have an alternative version to substitute that high for a mid, right? One of Lee's weaknesses in Tekken 7 was that he didn't have really great lows, right? He didn't have really great lows. So people would just stand block on Lee all the time, right? Because Lee had very strong mids, very, very strong mids, right? So since people just stood up against him all the time, and now Tekken 8 is introduced, Tekken 8 is very aggressive. It's about heat. I want to be plus in your face all the time. 50-50, you have to gamble for your life, right? So Lee had to adapt to that. So what did they give Lee? Well, they gave Lee 4-4-1. The reason why they gave Lee this is because people know that Lee, or people that still goes by that mindset that Lee still has weak lows. Okay, that's fine. I'll just kill you for stand blocking against me. Look at your health. I'll just kill you for stand blocking. And then one time you make that duck, if you duck just one time, I hit you with the mid, or I hit you with back 4, right? Or I hit you with down 4-2, or I hit you with up 4-4. I hit you with something 4-2-1. And now you're just like, oh my God. So I can't stand block against him. But I don't want to duck out of it because he has amazing mids. And this is where the gamble starts to come in between, because also they gave him back 3-3. Right? So now he has a fairly decent low. He has actually, I'm not even going to say decent, because this low is actually kind of annoying. I'm not going to lie. Does a really good chunk of damage. +4, that is kind of rare to find in this game. Okay? A 15 frame low is insane. That complements with his down 4-2. Because as you know, Lee has a safe down 4-2. So this can make that 50-50 really disgusting, right? Because you can keep looping this if you wanted to, right? And if at any given point they decide to duck, well, he just got launched by Lee. Come on, fuck them. just lost 45% of your health because you decided to duck against Lee, right? So these things that they introduced to Lee in Tekken 8 really complements what his game plan was lacking in Tekken 7. And that's how Lee adapted to the Tekken 8 game plan, right? So if you're that guy that wants to like, absolutely, once you get the download on your opponent, Lee is your character. You get the download on your opponent and you like, okay, you play this way, heard you. If they play aggressive, defense all the way. If they're very defensive, you have moves that can, well, create another turn for you. Things like misstep, right? Can create mix-up situations to where they have to guess, can I press a button here? Can I press a button? No, I cannot. Okay, I'll press here, right? It creates that scenario. And that is what Lee is in Tekken 8, right? Not to mention in Heat, Lee is very dangerous because all of the moves that he gets becomes perfect automatically. So Acid Rain, I don't even have to do the timing. I can just fucking do it. I can just do it, right? And Lee becomes even more dangerous because remember what I said, Lee in Tekken 7, Lee's weakness was he had really weak lows. Well, guess what? They gave Lee a low heat smash, which complements the low even more. So whenever he's in heat, you are even more afraid of the heat smash, but instead he just hits you with the down forward. It's a safe launcher, by the way. A safe down forward too, because he was in heat and you didn't want to get hit by the low heat smash. Right? Because his low heat smash, it also hazard breaks. I think it wall or floor break, I think. Due to, I haven't really tested this out on, because it looks like it would because he does this little downward smash, right? So I don't think it would floor break, but I know that it definitely wall breaks stuff. If you're on the stage like the Akuma stage with the multiple walls and stuff like that, right? I'm pretty sure that hazard breaks like that. But yeah, if you're willing to put in the time and effort and sweat into Lee, Lee can be a very beneficial character for you. He is a character that can actually deal with the entire cast if you play your cards right, of course. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And your boy Spawn is out. Peace.